Hello everybody, it's Tommy and welcome back to another Creative Sim for the Disney Save. Today we are finishing up the rest of the household that will be living in the Lilo and Stitch house. The other half of the household included Lilo and Stitch, of course, and they were posted in last week's video, so if you missed that, check that one out first. This is sort of a part 2. The only reason I didn't put them all together, it just would have created a really long video because I did make 2 versions of Stitch. Technically only one will be living in the household, but that is available in the other video if you would like. Today's video is going to be Nani, Jumba, and Pleakley. I know right away many of you are going to be asking, where is David? And he will be included in the save file. I'm going to spend a lot of time making sure his character is done super thoroughly. I know he is very well beloved, and I'm excited to do my interpretation of him and bring him into the save as well. But because he doesn't technically live with them in the film, I just decided to keep it true to what it was and not include him in the household. You could easily move him in. He will just be included as a townie, and so he will come later on in a different Creative Sim video when we do some Lilo and Stitch townies that usually come at the end of doing all of the speed builds. Without further ado, let's get into today's characters, starting off with Nani, whose aspiration is super parent. She is a hot-headed, child of the islands, active sim. Nani is fiercely independent and head of this super chaotic household. She serves as a mother figure to her younger sister Lilo due to losing her parents when she was barely 18. She was a teenager forced to grow up early to take care of her sister or risk losing her forever. Before her parents died, Nani was an awarded and talented surfer. She still loves to surf and play some sports, but no longer has time to pursue her hobbies due to her newfound responsibilities. Lilo can be a lot to handle, and Nani finds herself losing her temper with her little sister a lot. Nani also has a hard time holding down a job due to her temper and not being used to providing for an entire household. Now that Jumba and Pleakley live with them, they help a lot and things have become more stable for the entire family. She still argues with Lilo, but Nani has found a good balance between being able to be a parent that Lilo needs while still having time for herself. Nani has a super sweet boyfriend named David, and she is obsessed with him but would never admit to it. For her job, she is going to be one of the sims that takes on part-time roles or gig roles. Lifeguard is one that's exclusive, I believe, to Sulani, and obviously that's one that she's shown having or trying to have in the film, so that's a good shout out to that there. She can also be other things like barista, I believe, is one of them, so she's definitely going to have a few part-time jobs instead of more of like a locked-in career. Her hobbies include surfing and water sports. Obviously we do not have surfing in The Sims, but we will just put that all together into one category: dancing, volleyball, various sports, and spending time with her boyfriend. Nani was a super fun character to create. I used Lilo as the base genetically and then altered her from there. She is absolutely beautiful. I wanted to try my best to do her justice here. I found that what really tripped me up was actually the hair, and I know some of you are going to knock me for this and just say that it doesn't make sense. Nani doesn't wear hair clips in her hair. Like, I can already hear the comments. I know that, but I feel like this hair looks the most similar to the one that she has in the film compared to what we have in the cast catalog, and some of the other ones that maybe you could argue look a little bit closer changed the shape of her face so much that I felt like it just didn't look like her anymore. So this one was the only one I liked the shape of. I felt like she could wear and made sense. Like, it's very quick, keeps her hair down, kind of moves one part of it out of her face to the side, sort of how her hair is in the film, just maybe done in a way that makes a little bit more sense and doesn't defy gravity, and it looked good on her and it looked like Nani still. So I chose that one and I'm sticking with it. I like it. She gets so many outfits, you guys. I don't remember how many I showed in this video, but she changes a lot in the film and I love her style. She's very sporty. She's very her. She loves a good like longer short with t-shirts or cropped t-shirts. I gave her outfits for everything and tried to use as many as I possibly could for the film. The one I most iconically would remember her wearing is the blue tank top with the longer tan shorts though, so that'll be her like everyday wear. Next up we have Jumba, an alien sim. His aspiration is nerd brain. He is a genius, erratic maker sim. Jumba is an eccentric scientist responsible for the creation of hundreds of unauthorized live genetic specialized experiments. Each of his creations was designed to solve specific problems or complete a specific task. One of his experiments, 626, otherwise known as Stitch, was designed to be a weapon, and Jumba was therefore arrested due to illegal unauthorized experimentation. After 626 escaped, Jumba was tasked with going to Earth to collect him. Jumba has since lived with Lilo and Nani due to Stitch's unexpected attachment to Lilo and Jumba wanting to remain close to him and having nowhere else to go following events. He now spends his days creating less organic and dangerous science experiments. He has learned to make Earth his home, and his newfound family dynamic is very important to him. Although initially perceived by Lilo and Stitch as evil due to Jumba's order to capture Stitch, Jumba is a softie. He is very funny, loving, and sweet. His hobbies include things such as tinkering and working on science experiments, creating new gadgets and toys for Lilo and Stitch, comedy films, and he loves human food. I kind of hinted at this in the previous Create-A-Sim video, but his character is really where I realized how limiting the alien Create-A-Sim is because of the fact that you can't use the regular collection of skin tones when creating aliens. You have to pick one of these deeper, interesting gemstone colored skins that you would more traditionally associate with an alien, but because of Jumba, I didn't want to use a skin tone like this, and I wanted to use normal looking eyes because those are in line with his character. However, given the limitations of the game and considering he has like almost this purplish bluish shading on him, I felt like this is the only color we could really go with, and I was hoping that the outfits would help a bit. I do see quite a resemblance in the face. I feel like I've nailed it as much as you possibly can for the character, and not being able to do 4 eyes and make him look, you know, identical to the film. This Sims interpretation of him is pretty close. I can still see it in the face, which is really all I was worried about. Please ignore the human version of both him and Pleakley, because when you make alien sims, they are unlike other occults where you can basically copy and paste the same form over, or they would be linked when you're initially creating them so that you get an identical copy for both. They are listed as disguises instead of forms, so they want you to make something that looks completely different to the human version. I hear them on that. However, for this particular character, and both of them really, him and Pleakley, I feel like that doesn't work, so I'm going to be creating and using a mod to basically make them look identical in their human form without the exaggerated eyes that are exclusive to aliens and the weird skin tones. So they'll look the same as far as like facial structure, clothing options, things like that, because they don't have 2 forms, and I feel like there's no really great way to represent that. So I'm just going to be using a mod that allows me to copy and paste the form over so they look the same, but you won't need the mod for them to look normal or the way that I'm trying to explain them. I just didn't do it for this video because it's going to require a little bit of time and work, and I wanted to go ahead and show you guys basically what they're going to look like and what they're mostly intended to look like in their alien forms. Moving on to Pleakley, who is a freelance botanist. Their traits are high maintenance, green, fiend, and squeamish, possibly using the sim to get into the conservationalist, environmental manager career, or I believe there is a fashion designer career of some kind. It might be self-employed. Could really go with either. I have to kind of investigate both of those careers as I'm not familiar with them, but that's sort of the idea here. Pleakley is a former member of the Galactic Federation, originally coming to Earth with Jumba as a Earth expert, tasked with helping him capture 626 and make sure Jumba did so in a non-destructive way. Pleakley loves all animals and plants, finding all living creatures important. They will often protect even the slightest of creatures in an effort to be kind. Additionally, Pleakley loves all things fashion and makeup. They are often designing their own clothes and are always in style. Pleakley is known to take some of Nani's clothes and alter them to fit themselves. Due to Stitch's choice to remain on Earth and Pleakley's love for the Earth and all things human, they chose to stay here as well and become the flamboyant aunt figure of the group. Their hobbies will include things such as sewing and fashion designing, knitting, cross-stitching, makeup, accessorizing, wigs, nails, gardening, sightseeing, bird watching, and taking care of animals and wildlife. Obviously, again, very similar to the creation with Jumba, a little bit limiting, not able to do just the one eye and not able to pick a normal looking eye from a regular human sim, so that it overall does look a little bit closer to how it's shown in the film, but I think you can definitely still see it there in the facial shape, and I wanted to really go all out with the clothes for Pleakley, as they are often shown wearing many different outfits. So the one I think of most iconically for them is this orange dress, but I will be giving them lots and lots of outfits to choose from. It's very much a part of their character. And that is the end of today's video. Next up, we will have a Lilo Lilo and Stitch themed restaurant. If you would like to support the Disney Save on Patreon, you can do so by clicking the link in my description box down below or the one at the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and I will talk to you in the next one.